Shalom and good day, this is the Healing29 back again for another DC review. This is part 1 of 2, as the second comic that I originally planned to review was Titans issue 3, and seeing that's not here, I've had to break it down separately. So in the part 1 and part 2, even though you get to see the cover for the two comics that I had planned, I will still use that for when part 2 comes up. So first things first, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside the story? Not so much, to which I give a 6 out of 10. That's right, a 6 out of 10, as I feel that it doesn't really work for the story, and it's a bit retarded. You know, like Ray Palpatine, in regards to that. So now it's time to move into the internal art as we look around the beginning, middle, and of course the end, and also what's happening with the characters, story-wise. So as the story begins, we move a couple of pages in, and we get to see that there's an event taking place here at the Prodigal Bar, and we get to see that this is the character of Richard Grayson, or Rick Grayson, being held and done by Tom Taylor. And we get to see that there's an event that takes place, which links to 2 years in the past. And we see that there's a vault covered for Nightwing. As we jump towards the middle of the story, I must admit the art is really nice here, and we start to see Nightwing starting to work towards collecting what's in the locker. And as we move towards the end, we finally move to learning that B is now a pirate. I'm choosing not to cover the backstory in this, only the main story, as I thought the backstory was a bit stupid. As much as I like Cassandra Cain, I don't really feel that the writer really grasped the character, so that's why that one's not being reviewed. But straight into the main story, into the area of the internal art, I gave it a 7 out of 10 as I quite enjoyed the art. Next is the area of the story rating. So first things first, do we get any comic book references to any of the previous issues? No, but it especially should have been done for an issue like this. And especially in regards to the character that we see in this. Because if I remember, it took Dan Jurgens to literally help bring the series of Nightwing back from the suffocation to the original person who was writing the Rick Grayson arc. And the original person writing the Rick Grayson arc was not Dan Jurgens. He was literally brought in to help salvage the arc after the crap that Tom King did. So yeah, I think it was Seeley or someone else. But when that arc came along, I dropped from the series too. I didn't like what they did. It literally took Dan Jurgens to help get me interested back in the character again. And I'll give Dan Jurgens this, at least he respects the character and his origins and even the way he writes him. Even though there has been some criticism towards Dan Jurgens in certain areas, but I want to sort of debunk those certain things, but that will be separate from a comic review. So moving into the next thing is the area of time in regards to the story rating. We get 2 years ago, then we get 2 nights later, to eventually, to which we have now and later being used. or 1 hour later being used. The location being Bloodhaven, or moving into the area of the location is Bloodhaven. We get the Prodigal Bar. We didn't end up getting any indication as to the port to which Dick Grayson was at. It probably would have helped to include that in the story. Or the harbour. And also Locker 538. The cast of characters consisting of Dick Grayson, Nightwing, Bia, Bitewing. We also had Barbara Gordon, Oracle slash, Barbara Gordon slash Oracle slash Batgirl. They need to make their fucking decision with Barbara Gordon. Is she going to be Oracle? If she's going to be Oracle, put her in a bloody wheelchair again. If you're going to keep her Batgirl, stop her using the Oracle. Like, how many identities does she actually need? It's a bit bloody stupid, DC, and it makes you look retarded. Of course, we get we also get the reappearance of Heartless, as well as a couple of other characters that I've actually written so badly in my writing here. But for the overall story rating, I give a 7 out of 10. My only key criticism is I think it's about time that Dick Grayson finishes off the character of Heartless in this series, because I'm going to consider dropping it if it doesn't happen in, say, the next 2 issues. And I don't want to see him in relation to the team into the Titans crap either. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.